Greetings everyone, Slizzle466 here, and in today's video I'm going to be highlighting some off-meta decks that you might want to consider climbing the wild ladder with. Starting off looking at Druid, we have Evil Devil's Jade Druid. So this is a dragon build and it's a ton of fun. So it's the Jade Druid we're all used to playing. The 2 poison seeds are really important with the Dark Glare Warlocks out there. And in this case, the Vargoth is going to be pulling the Crimson Hotheads. And so they're not necessarily going to have Taunt straight away, unless you have a follow-up one mana spell, or maybe a higher mana spell. But it's a nice inclusion. It tops out with Ysera Unleashed Deathwing, and when nothing's going your way, Yogg-Saron's Hoped End can solve some of those problems for you. Really fun build. Another Druid list that you might want to consider is Just a Taco's Odd Taunt Druid. I had a blast playing this list. So how this list works is you want to try and get your taunts out as quick as possible, and Guardian Animals can help you do that. And because of nature studies, sometimes you might be able to cheat that out a little early. But essentially you're getting all these beasts taunt minions out as quick as possible, and then you've got Hadronox to get them back. You might want to Hadronox Naturalize. Keep in mind though that because there are a lot of beasts in the deck, the Witching Hour isn't always going to guarantee the Hadronox, so you got to get a little lucky on this one. But otherwise, really fun list, very fun to play. Artika's Aggro Druid, I'm going to have to craft some cards to play this, but I love Aggro Druid. So this is an Aggro Druid with a bit of a bigger top end. So it's a little bit more mid-rangey than what we're used to seeing, but you can cheat things out with Lightning Bloom. There's a Bees in here, there's a Ferocious Reader for draw. This list looks like a ton of fun and something I want to try out. Moving over to Hunter, it wouldn't be an off-meta deck if we didn't feature a Duin list, so I'm featuring Duin's Secret Hunter, and there's a very cute combo in this list that can help deal with Dark Glare Warlock. I'm letting out Duin's secrets: Toxic Arrow, Unstable Ghoul. It clears boards. It's very, very good. Otherwise, this is just a very well-built mid-range Secret Hunter list. Ace Hunter Kreen combined with True Aim Crescent can get you free trades, and it's a very nice list if you want to play some Secret Hunter. Also, the Mind Control tech is kind of cute. Another Hunter enthusiast EK has his Porcupine Hunter list. This is quite the delicate list to play. So it's got some synergies with the Death Rattles, with your Play Dead. You know, you got your Explosive Sheep, you've got your Nerubian Egg. But the star of the show is the Augmented Porcupine. 3 mana 2/4 Beast, Death Rattle, deal this minion's attack damage, randomly split among all enemies. So what you want to try and do is you want to try and buff the attack of this so that you can clear boards, maybe sneak in lethal. All sorts of cute little things you can do with this card. Definitely a list that you want to check out. Another Hunter list is Hailung's Odd Hunter. So if you want to go face, but you want to do it in a more mid-range way, this is a list that you might want to try out. It has quite the top end. So, you know, you've got your Leroy Jenkins, Big Ol' Whelp, Rotnest Drake. But essentially, it's a face deck, and it's odd. So your hero power is doing 3 damage, and dragons are fun. So yeah, this is a really cool list, and Hailung did hit legend with this. Looking at Mage, I've just got one Mage list to talk about. Concern Mom's Turtle Mage. This is another deck that does have a bit of a learning curve, so just beware. But essentially, what this deck abuses is the combination of your Pilgrim casting your Potion of Illusion in your deck. So if you draw your Potion of Illusions, you're kind of screwed over, so don't do that. But essentially, you pilgrim into Potion of Illusion, and then you can get basically infinite pilgrims, and then you try and get, say, Loathebs or Meteorologists or Healbots, just all sorts of different cards in this deck to help you stall for lethal or just stall for fatigue. Very fun list, highly recommended. Also Kingsbane Rogue, so double oozes. Looking at Paladin, we have Husky's Murloc Paladin. This is very similar to Husky's previous list that he's run in the past. The only difference is the inclusion of Seer Sapiens, just to help get your high roll a little bit better, getting your Prismatic Lens, and the higher Best Allura, 4 mana 3/6 spell burst, cast a spell from your deck. That would be the Prismatic Lens or the Tip the Scales. So nice additions to improve the Murloc Paladin archetype. We also have ugPhzgMA's Pure Paladin. If you've seen my videos in the past, you'll know that I'm free to play, and I can't afford to play this deck. But if you happen to have these 3 legendaries, or maybe I'll get them at some point, let me know how the deck goes for you. This is a mid-range list, and it's based around buffing your minions to ridiculous amounts of stats with your Libram spells, your Libram of Wisdom spells. However, just be aware the deck is very weak to silence, such as Master Spell, Ironbeak Owl, Psychic Scream can screw you over. So just be careful. It's not a super strong deck, but in the right hands, it's quite powerful. Moving over to Priest, we have one of my favorites, Combo Priest. This is a bit of a different build than I've featured in the past. It's got the Devout Pupil in it. Because you're casting a lot of spells in this deck, this is a nice inclusion. A lot of the time this is going to be free. This deck is also running Psych Split to give a minion +1/+2, summon a copy of it. High Priest Amet to give your minions very high health. Escape Mana Saber just to get some mana, and again it's got a high attack, so you could even use this for your OTK. This is a very nice build that I've tested a little bit. Also, the Nerebar Weblords are a great tech against a lot of the decks in the current meta. So this is a really fun list to try out. Looking at Rogue, we have M3S's latest build of Burgle Rogue. I love Burgle Rogue, it's a ton of fun. And Rogue got a bunch of new tools. Got Secret Passage, which is absolutely insane. You got Wand Thief, which gives Rogue access to mage cards. And overall, this is just a really fun list to play. It really sucks if you queue into another Rogue though, because a lot of the stuff doesn't work anymore. For example, Tez. But otherwise, it's a really fun list. Highly recommend you try it out. Moving over to Shaman, we have 3E Inua's Odd Shaman. This is a list that has been taking the wild scene by storm. It's not necessarily the strongest list out there, but it's something new, and anything new in wild is fun. As you can see, it has quite the bottom end. It's an odd list, and it mainly just has 1 and 3 drops. It's a very aggressive list. You want to try and get a board as early as possible. And once that board gets wiped, hopefully you have a whole bunch of spell totems on board or start generating them. And then you just start aiming your spells at your opponent's face and you watch them explode. Very fun. Another aggressive Shaman deck is ugPhzgMA's Aggro Shaman. This is a similar. This is more minion based than the odd build. But in this case, you're trying to get your Surging Tempest, your Tunnel Trogs to stick, get them as big as possible. Flame with Faceless because it's a 4 mana 7/7. Who wouldn't want to run it? And basically, you use your board, and once your board's gone, you've got your burst from hand to finish off your opponent. Moving over to Warlock. If you missed Darkest Hour Warlock, White Delight has you covered. So as you can see, he's running the Blood Bloom, even though it's 4 mana. You've got the Darkest Hour in here. You've got your Sphere of Sapience to help your drawers be a little bit more consistent. And then you've got your massive top end with all of your minions. This is a demon-based build. Because there are quite a lot of demons in here, we also see the Blood Reaver Gul'dan, mainly because the Enhanced Dreadlord's in here. In the past, we didn't see the Gul'dan because the Dreadlords weren't being run, but with all these demons, you'd be crazy not to run the Gul'dan. Slozzle likes this list. And finally, looking at Warrior, we have Laborzanger's Big Warrior. This is a list that he's had a lot of success with. He wrote a really good guide about it on Reddit. Basically, the deck is all about stalling and then using Gather Your Party or Woe Cleaver to cheat out your top end. Your top end being your Yashars, Scrapyard Colossus, Colossus of the Moon, most of the big minions that we typically see. Troublemaker is also really nice, especially because those 3/3s can control board but also go face. Commencement is a nice new card from the deck, giving one of your big minions Taunt and Divine Shield. So this is a list that you definitely want to consider if you want to have a bit of fun. And last but not least, oh no, there's two more. Of course I missed Dead Man's Hand Warrior. Dead Man's Hand Warrior. There are a ton of Dead Man's Hand Warrior lists out there. I think this is one of the better ones. This one did hit #1 legend on, I believe, the China server. It's a mid-range deck, so it's not like your control, slow, grindy DMH decks that you might be used to. It's more board-centric, value-oriented, and a ton of fun to play. And last of all, Bomb Warrior. Again, lots of Bomb Warriors out there. I really like Rosenchen's list personally. Again, it's a mid-range deck with the intent of getting as many bombs into your opponent's deck as possible, gaining as much armor to stall as possible, and I also really like the Blastmaster Boom in here. It's always a little surprise. Not everyone runs this, but it's a really nice addition. And this is just a really fun deck if you want to mess with Reno decks that you're queuing into. So if you want to try any of these lists, you'll find all the deck codes in the description below. And if you want to support this channel, you can click the subscribe button, click that bell, and until next time, hope to see you again.